Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, proudly presents to you another marvelous episode of 15 Minutes of Fandom. That's right. What we do is we take the spotlight and put it on one wrestling fan that we feel stands out from the rest. So, with that being said, I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Four continents down, two more to go. No cap, straight facts, worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. You see, we have a special guest tonight. This guy's an incredible person. He's actually not only a wrestling fan, but he's also a content creator. And most of all, here's the impressive part, he's an actor too. So, with that being said, everybody, welcome to the show, Manny's Content. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, yo. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the introduction. That introduction for yourself was fire, though. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Yeah, I, I, I try to I try to make it exciting, man. You should hear Rob and Kathy's own, man. Like it's something else, man. But yeah, I gotta say, man, hey, thank you for actually, being for actually taking time out of your schedule. We know you got a lot going on, with your acting career and content creating and whatnot, but we really truly appreciate this. So yeah, man, how's everything going for you, man?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me. Everything is great, man. Can't complain. Just gotta give glory to God, you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. I think you might be our first Nigerian guest too. I don't think we've had any Nigerians on here before. I don't think we've had any West Africans on here. So you might be our first guest from that part of the world, or who has culture from that part of the world. So yeah, man. Definitely big ups, man.
That's pretty dope, bro. Yeah, a lot of people don't even think I'm from Nigeria, man. A lot of people think I'm like Hispanic. Like, everybody comes up to me and starts asking me things in Spanish, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. You know?
Honestly, honestly, I could see it. I trust me. I'm in New York. I mean, right now I'm in Illinois, but I'm really based out of New York. And whenever I go out, people think I'm Dominican for some reason. I don't know why, but it happens, man. It is what it is. So I normally ask, the majority of our, guests that we have on the show, how did your love for professional wrestling start? What was the match or the event that made you become a fan for life?
Uh, Match of the event. Honestly, I would have to say, first off, I just want to give shout outs to my father. Man, so rest in peace. He passed away like 2013, but he was the reason why I got into wrestling. Um, and he always used to tell me that's the only way to shut you up, like to stop you from crying is watching wrestling. But when it came to the moment, I can't even pinpoint. The only thing I can remember is my first time ever being on YouTube. One thing I looked up was Chris Jericho's debut. So like, Chris Jericho did it for me.
Okay. Wow, that's cool. That's that's pretty awesome that Chris Jericho was your introduction to wrestling. Very entertaining guy. To this day, he could still always reinvent himself. Whereas some people they stick to the same shtick, same gimmick, same monotonous promo. But he has always been able to, for some reason, to reinvent himself year after year, even after all these decades of being in the business.
All
So,
right.
so who are some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching, growing up as a wrestling fan?
So yeah, I mentioned Chris Jericho, but the other one, like I can't even put him on the number two. So sharing number one with Chris Jericho has to be the phenomenal AJ Styles. Like,
Okay.
like that guy, what could I say? Phenomenal, bro. I mean, I think I remember started watching TNA in like 2005. First person I saw was Christian Cage. I remember I was just flipping through channels, and I'm like, "There's a wrestling show on." I forgot that came on Thursday. I'm like, "There's a wrestling show on a Thursday. What is this? Is that Christian? What is he? This is not WWE." So I have AJ Styles there. And seeing all his matches from TNA, it did it for me. Like, his theme song too was banging. Like even before the Get Ready to Fly, he had the normal one. When he came out with the hoodie through Pyro, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Like this guy is cool, man. Like he's the reason why I kept wearing hoodies when I was younger, bro. Other than AJ's, Kurt Angle. It's funny, so I actually got to meet Kurt Angle. Same day I did a video on him at House of Glory. Um, but yeah, Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, big time people right there.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. Did you ever get to? So, what was your mindset when you finally got to meet Kurt Angle? Like, what
So
was
it
what
was
was in your mind?
It was funny because like I said that same day I did a video on Kurt Angle. I think the video was about, oh, what if Kurt Angle never left WWE, right?
Mhm,
And then I went to House of Glory. Shout outs to House of Glory, probably the number one indie wrestling promotion ever. It's here in New York. I'm going to their show August 1st. But because of that interview, because of that video that I did of Kurt Angle, I came to House of Glory, and Kurt Angle happened to be there for a seminar,
mhm.
and I was telling him, oh, I love you, obviously, stuff like that, but I made a video about you. I told him I tagged him and stuff like that. I wanted to get an interview with him, but he had to go. 'Cause he had to catch a flight back to Pittsburgh, so it was local. But meeting Kurt Angle, I used to have so much debates in high school, like especially with one of my success coaches, Mark, right? Shout out Mark. He was always a big Stone Cold fan. I'm like, no, Kurt Angle was better. And we used to have this back and forth every day. So to me, Kurt Angle was truly an amazing feeling, man.
Yeah, it's always amazing meeting the people that you actually meeting your favorites that you enjoyed watching growing up. I felt the same way with Marty Jannetty. I actually told our guest Manora this yesterday, last night actually when she was on. I was like, yeah, I don't normally mark out for wrestlers because I had a friend that was in the business that was a cameraman for many promotions, and he taught me how to move and not to mark out. But that one time I met Marty, I was like, yo, you were like one of my favorite tag teams, man. And I never had a lot of favorite tag teams before, and just really couldn't contain myself. I didn't do anything crazy, but I was just like, I just had to mark out for that one time, and yeah, man, it's always a great feeling meeting your favorites and just getting to chat with them and so on. So yeah, that's great that you got to meet Kurt Angle, and yeah, you're right. House of Glory is I mean, first off, RIP. Sorry about the loss of your dad. Um,
That's cool.
House of House of Glory is definitely a great promotion. Um, and anytime I get a chance, if I'm not normally I'm always working that day. But normally if on the days they have shows, but normally when I'm not, I try my best to make those shows because I've never been bored whenever I go there, and I think the last show I went to, it wasn't them, but it was their school. I think it's LPW that had a
Okay,
show,
yeah.
and I went there, and that was a great show too. So yeah, House of I'm gonna try to make that August 1st show. It's gonna be very interesting. Lots of great wrestling happening next week. So outside of House of Glory, have you gone to any other ones in Brooklyn? Let's say if you as a wrestling fan, let's say another wrestling fan came from out of town, let's say outside of the tri-state area, and they were like, Manny, what promotions should I check out? Which ones would you recommend for that fan, outside of House of Glory?
Yeah, the obvious with WWE. Barclays Center is always there. Uh, we got AEW. They've been to Grand Slam. I've never been to Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe. Never
Mhm.
been to that one. But the most recent one I went to was Slammiversary, um, at the UBS Arena on Long Island, and that show was crazy. Getting to see everything in person was great. But Barclays Center. MSG, UBS, Arthur Ashe. Those are the places usually people will go to, to watch wrestling.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've only been to I think 3 out of 4 of those. Um, I've been to UBS arenas in Queens. I think I went there. That was 2 years. It was there. I went for a yeah, AEW had a Grand Slam. I think it was September, October. I went there to watch one of their events that they had. It was pretty good. And I've been to Barclays Center twice. Once for SummerSlam. Actually, no, 3 times. Once for SummerSlam, once for Survivor Series, and once for a Raw that was being shown there. But I haven't been to Madison Square Garden yet for a show. Maybe one day it's probably going to happen, but I haven't been to Madison Square Garden to see any wrestling yet. You know
Mm.
that hopefully that's the next thing that happens.
No, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I feel like we all got to experience that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And to me, like when you go to these places, you meet so many cool fans and whatnot. Like me, I like going to these things like because I get to meet more like fellow like content creators like yourself, and wrestling fans, and I get to like just tell them about my podcast, about our podcast, and see if they'd be interested. Because I always say like everybody has a different story, and it's always interesting to hear stories from wrestling fans as well. So you being a fellow content creator, how did Manny's content get started? Like what made you be like, okay, something, there's something here. I like this business. Let me give this a shot.
Um, it's a good question. Honestly, it was I would even say during the pandemic. It was like what 2022. Um, so I had like with Manny's content. It basically started off with me wanting to interview, you know, people that I knew personally that were doing things within entertainment, right? So I had my first interview with one of my closest friends, PTG, Pete the God. He's a fashion designer. My second interview was with Muscle Man Malcolm, right? And
Okay.
then yeah, from there, like from there, it stemmed on from us being friends. That's my boy to this day. And he told me after the interview, like, "Yo, that was a great interview." I'm like, "Oh, for real, I appreciate that." So after that, but it wasn't until I want to say, maybe last year, maybe that I started to take wrestling content creating serious because I know I loved it, and I was trying to find like a different niche or whatever. But I'm like, you know what? What am I hiding? Everybody knows I love wrestling. If you know me personally, you know I love wrestling. So like, what am I gonna hide that for? So
Mhm.
I just started following in the footsteps really of Muscle Man Malcolm. He inspired me, to just keep going at it. Um, and from there, I just got a chance to interview one of wrestling's like I get to interview some of wrestling's biggest names, right?
Mhm.
And I just started, I don't know, it's just been fun, bro. I don't even know how to explain it. Like everything, that whole journey, I don't regret anything about it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Malcolm's definitely been doing great. Um, so have you ever so like Malcolm, have you ever thought about getting into the wrestling like business yourself? Because I know Malcolm, he did his thing. He decided to go. I don't know what persuaded him to do it. He decided to go wrestle AJ Francis. Malcolm, if you see this, you're a crazy guy. I've met AJ Francis twice. I'm like, yeah, I would not want to wrestle that guy. I'm good. But Malcolm, he stepped in the ring and he did it, and he cut a promo. Uh,
Yeah.
but have you ever thought about going in there and not just following in the footsteps of Malcolm, but like other Nigerian wrestlers like Almost, Moose, and I'm gonna ask you about them in a minute, and also Apollo Cruz. Have you ever thought about getting in the ring yourself as a wrestler or a referee or anything?
I mean, when I was younger, yeah. I mean now, all right. So one thing about it was I actually trained at House of Glory.
Okay.
Um, so it was just for like this one day. I wanted to see what it was like. I didn't take any bumps or anything yet because you would have to like uh pay a certain amount to start and whatever, and then pay monthly or whatever.
Hmm.
So I didn't really have that kind of money at the time. But when it came to Malcolm and versus AJ Francis, I was actually there for that front row. Um, and like to see that in person, it was fun. I'm like, yo, like this could be, I might actually have to get back into, I was talking with AJ Francis, and I told him, I'm like, I seen a video of him choke slamming somebody. I'm like, yo, give me a choke slam. He said, whenever you want to do this. I'm like, oh, okay. But I don't know. I'm thinking to myself now, do I really want to, that's kind of high. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It
Shoot.
depends. I just want to take a bump in the ring first, and once I take that bump in the ring, then I'm gonna decide whether or not I'm actually gonna go. I'm actually gonna do this. So
Man, you never know, man. But if you do, I'll tell you what, if you do, yo, I tip my hat off to you. You braver than me. You and Malcolm, y'all braver than me. But if you do, we gonna have you back on here, as a wrestler to hear your experiences as well too. Because having an experience as a fan, an experience as a wrestler or referee or promoter, which is pretty much, if you're a wrestler, promoter, referee, that you're pretty much on the other side of the guardrail in the industry, which is, near the ring. um all those people have different stories from fans. So if you become a wrestler, or if you decide to get into it, we'll definitely have you back on, man. But yeah, House of Glory seems to be like, I don't know, because even Menor said yesterday that she trained the House of Glory too. So I'm like, wow, it must be a common thing. It must be a common thing amongst wrestling fans now, man. Like in New York, which, and they're pretty good. House of Glory is pretty good.
nah,
I
it's
will.
really great. It's really great.
Yeah, I'll definitely give them that. Like they know how to, bring out the best, as a pro wrestler from what I've seen in the shows. So, um, so I recently just, well, a couple minutes ago, just spoke about Almost, Moose, and
Apollo,
Apollo
yeah.
Cruz, and also, and I believe he's also Nigerian. Um, geez, I'm drawing a blank. Can't Obafemi.
Yeah,
Obafemi. So you as a person being of, Nigerian descent, what is your mindset when you see these men, especially Obafemi, who's been killing it, in like that man got a death grip on that NXT championship. But what's your mindset when you see somebody from the same culture of you, the same culture as you, representing Nigeria, and not just as a wrestler, but on a main event status?
honestly, man, it's great because us Nigerian people, we've taken over so many teams already. Soccer. We have it in soccer. We have it in basketball. But look, I ain't gonna lie to you though, man. Obafemi, that guy. He's dangerous. I'm telling you now, he's dangerous. Like it's very cool to see somebody like him that's at that high, status when it comes to wrestling, right? The first person I seen actually that brought, the Nigerian style was Apollo Cruz. And at first I was thinking, I'm like, is this guy really Nigerian or is this is just a whole Vince thing that he just wants you to, you know, I don't know. But I think I looked it up. I think he is actually part of Nigerian descent. So that was cool too to see the whole the flag represented. I think at WrestleMania, that was very cool.
Yeah,
Moose, I didn't even know Moose was Nigerian. I like now I'm gonna have to do more research, but that's cool too. Um, there's just a lot of representation when it comes to Nigeria within wrestling, and it's beautiful to see.
yeah, because when I looked at it, I was like, wow, like so many Nigerians, and this is a great thing. This is an awesome thing. I believe you may have another. I believe Idris Enofe. He might be from Nigeria.
I believe
Don't
so.
don't quote me on that, but he's another one too. And yeah, man, I'm just happy to see all the different, all different ethnicities, getting a chance, all different cultures getting a chance, because, representation is a big thing. Representation counts, and it draws more people. I'm
Yeah.
Guyanese. If I saw a guy, when I saw Ezekiel Jackson on every night on Raw or SmackDown, I made sure I tuned in. I'm like, yo, that's my Guyanese brother, man. You know, and I'm like, when I saw him actually finally get the ECW World Championship, I'm like, yo, my boy won the big one. And then he got an Intercontinental Championship. And I'm like, Oz, yo, represent. And then Another person who I just found, who I found out a few years ago, was she's half Guyanese, Willow Nightingale. So now I'm cheering for her. I'm tuning in every night on AEW Dynamite, cheering her on, because that's somebody from my culture that I see as a representative. So I like that. I'm glad that Nigerians are getting out there too. Hopefully we can get some Ghanaians. But hopefully y'all don't argue about who got the better jollof rice.
I was just
Just
about to ask you that. I was just about to ask you. Now I'm gonna ask you, who got the better jollof? And you better say the right answer.
I never had jollof rice. I swear I never had jollof rice before. I've had
Okay.
fried rice. I've had
Okay.
steamed rice. I've had
Okay.
what we Guyanese call cook up rice. But I've never had. I'm not saying that because you're in front of me, and I know that when a Nigerian slaps you, your soul leaves your body. But I never had jollof. I swear. If I did, somebody probably didn't tell me. I never had jollof rice in my life.
Okay. Well, we gotta get you some jollof rice from Nigerian jollof rice. That Nigerian jollof, not the Ghanaian jollof. That one can kill you. The Nigerian jollof.
Hey, could you imagine if Obafemi goes on if he ends up going on Raw with the New Day, and him and Kofi have that whole argument on a live segment? I would be like, not many people would probably get it unless they're in tune with the West African culture. I would get it because I've hung out with Nigerians and Ghanaians before, so I get where that's coming from. That's like when Guyanese and Trinidadians argue about, oh, it's curry chicken. No, it's chicken curry. That's
Oh,
another argument we have.
I was in high school with that. I used to be like, "Yo, curry chicken." Somebody screamed at me. You say, "Yo, it's chicken curry." Like, what is the difference? What is
Yeah,
the difference?
that's how it is. That's how it is, man. Hey, but it's all fun, man. So I gotta say, speaking of on screen and whatnot, you yourself have been on screen. You're an actor. You've been in She's Gotta Have It. So tell us about that, man. Like how that all come together, and you got to meet a legendary director, Spike Lee. Like, man, hey, I know this is about wrestling, man, but yo, let's hear about that, man, because that's if I met Spike Lee, I'd be like, yo, I would. I wouldn't know what to say, because I mean, Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever,
Yeah,
School Days,
yeah.
man. The brother's a legend, and not just in the black community, but in the film community, as a whole. Well, how tell us about that, man?
And he's top five Knicks fan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But
diehard
um,
Knicks fan too.
yeah, of course. Don't even talk crazy about the Knicks in front of him, which is what I did. But anyway, so basically, how this all came about, I was in high school. And at the time, high schooler in New York, they used to take our phones, right? And I have this theater teacher. His name is Mr. Robinson. Actually, shout out to Mr. Robinson. He just won a Tony Award probably a month ago, right? Um, but he said to us one day in the class, oh, come back. I want you to come back upstairs after school's over. And I'm like, oh, I don't feel like going upstairs. I don't want to go upstairs. So son just told me, you know what? Go back upstairs. So I had to go get my phone from the first floor, walk all the way back to the fourth floor, went to his classroom, and he was just telling us about how, oh, remember how I said I know Spike Lee? So Spike called me and he wants me to send a few students down to do an audition. And I'm like, oh, word, that's okay, that's fire. So he gave us a script. And I'm like, oh, is it gonna be on Netflix? Oh, that's what's up. So, me as a kid at the time, I think I was like 18 maybe. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll read for this, I'll do this. I don't think I'm gonna get it, but whatever. Um, so, he sent six of us out of every student he's had within that school, within that building. Only six of us went down. Two of us got the part, which was me and one of my best friends, Naeem Anderson. Shout out my bro Naeem Nimi. Um, we got the role, and it was I don't even know how to explain, bro. I don't even know I don't know, bro. I just wish at the time I wish my father was there to see that, bro, because that would have been so cool. Um, and it's like how everything happened. Like I even met Spike Lee before. I think we filmed the show for season one. It was cool. My mom was there. She got to sit in like the director's chair next to Spike and all that to see everything going down. So it was cool for that. There was a time they called us back for like additional dialogue to finish up with season two. And I came down, me and Naeem came down, and I remember saying, "Oh, the Knicks suck." And Spike was like, "Who said that?" And I'm like, "Naeem, why would you say that, bro? Like that's not cool." And Spike, he kind of got upset, but it was cool though. Spike is a very chill dude, bro. He was directing in Nike Tech like suits, like it was crazy. I'm like, this guy's really chill, bro. Um, and the funny thing about it is the way how I knew I was on season two was kind of crazy. I was going to a baby shower for one of my friends. Shout out to Nasia. I was going to a baby shower, and then all of a sudden I'm walking into them filming for the second season. Um, or it was the first season, but I was walking and I seen like a table that said SGHI props. I'm like, she's gotta have her props. And I asked somebody, I'm like, excuse me, where's Spike? And he's like, he's over there. So all I heard was cut or whatever. So walked up to Spike. I'm like, hey, Spike. He's like, oh, yo, what are you gonna be doing next week on Saturday? I'm like, nothing. He's like, all right, I need you. We're gonna be filming. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he told me the address. I went down there. So it was crazy. I basically got hired off the street, even though like Spike already knew me. So it was crazy, man.
Yeah, hey, I gotta say, man, yo, props to you on getting that opportunity to work with Spike Lee. Me, if I mean, I'm not acting, but if I was an actor and there's certain people that I would definitely, drop everything and make sure if they say, hey, I want you to be, one of my films, and that would be Spike Lee, not in no particular order, Spike Lee, Ryan Coogler,
Mm,
and John Singleton.
okay.
Those three.
Mhm.
And the classics that they have made is just like, especially now with Ryan Coogler being younger, but still that man, he's like what, 5 for 0 now. I think him and Michael B. Jordan are like the winning combination. But
Mhm.
seeing that, it's like like those men I just mentioned. If I was an actor, it would be an honor to be in any of their productions because they always put out great stuff. I mean, John Singleton, you seen Snowfall, or you heard of it?
Yeah.
Critically acclaimed. Like one of those. There's sitcoms that I've watched, and I can tell you, Snowfall is one of them. Like I could not wait until like the next season or the next episode comes out because I was like, yo, this is good. Like this is definitely like cinema, but on TV that we're seeing.
Right.
Yeah. So if you had to choose, so being an actor now, if you had to, if you were in a TV production or a movie production, which wrestlers, top five wrestlers or managers, would you want to be acting beside?
It's a good question. Number
Would
one,
you want to be like your co-star or yeah?
number one, I'll probably have to say Paul Heyman.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe like if you I watch Impulsive, right? Logan Paul's podcast, and to hear what Paul went through to actually have his eyes red. He didn't shave. He didn't sleep. I forgot how long or for whatever days it was, but he literally committed to that. When like I think that was the night they put him through the table and all that other stuff. He he literally committed to doing that, and that was crazy. And I watched the interview. I'm like, yo, this guy is serious, man. Like that's really dope. So it'll be Paul Heyman. Um, I'm trying to what wrestler makes me feel, man. I'll have to say Adam Copeland, Edge.
Okay.
He's an actor himself, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, because him as a heel was top five. I hated him. I hated him so bad. How many people you told me to pick? Was it three?
Like Yeah, like five of them, or if you
Five.
could.
Okay, so I got Heyman, I got Edge. I mean, I've loved the work Chris Jericho was doing with that movie. That movie that came out not that long ago. I'm trying to remember the name. It was like a scary movie. But I love the work for that. Jericho. I would be remiss to not say Batista, obviously. Um
Okay.
yeah. Caesar's been doing his thing as well. Yeah. I mean, I'll give you a last one. For just for comedic things, I would have to say Teddy Long.
Oh, okay.
I have to say Teddy Long.
All
Teddy
right,
makes me
player.
laugh. Yeah, Teddy makes me. That was one of my dad's favorites, Teddy Long, or Booker as well. So yeah,
We coming for you too.
yeah. Hey, hey, that's going around a lot today. Hey,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh man, yeah. Bad time, bad timing.
yeah, going
I got.
around a lot today.
I actually got to do a 10 bill salute. For for him, not Booker, but I
Nah,
know
yeah,
some people are gonna be like, Remy, how could you have him? How could you do the ring rapper? But me, man, look, I could separate the I could separate the character from the person, and I mean, that's what a lot of people do. They play characters. I mean, what you see on TV is not what you're gonna see outside. I mean, Sergeant Slaughter was not a was not actually a drill sergeant. Undertaker was not actually a satanic worshiper. He actually grew up in a Christian home. You
yeah,
know, Crime Time were not actually thugs. They weren't jacking and robbing people.
yeah,
And trust, in New York, come on, ain't nobody gonna
yeah.
be going money, money, yeah, 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 yeah. The moment if you go to the wrong part of the Bronx or East New York, somebody's like, hey man, hey, let me talk to you, bro. Hey, nah,
Yeah,
y'all come in, and they're gonna be rocking like some ski masks or something. So it's all characters, man. You know,
yeah,
but that's a pretty good. I actually got to meet Teddy Long as well too. Very cool guy. And I told him thank you for all that he did because my first ever WCW match that I saw, which is way back when, was him when he managed Doom, which was the team
okay.
of Ron Simmons and Butch Reed. And I told him, thank you, for all he did, not just for the black community, but for wrestling as a whole. And he was like, yeah, yeah, but you know who you really got to thank? The big man upstairs. I'm like, yeah, you're right. God, you got to thank him too. Very humble guy, and and it's funny. I was like, you know what? The fact he took time to chat with me, and then I left, and I was like, you know what, Remy, go back and get a picture with that man because that man's a legend in his own right. And I did just that, and very very cool, very humble guy, and yeah, man. If I was a manager, I would definitely want to. That would be one person whose brain I'd like to pick on how to be a successful manager in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just gotta say, man, Manny, it was a pleasure, an honor talking to you on here. Wow, this is our first movie star we had on here, man. Like what, man? Was it? He's gotta
Nah,
have it. Season one and two.
nah.
What shoots,
Chill,
man?
chill, chill. It's not even like that, man. Listen, bro, we all walk amongst each other. We're all human here, man. Doesn't really matter what we done. But hey, look, I appreciate it though.
I'll tell you what, man. I wish you nothing but the best with your movie with your acting career. I hope you get more parts, and that when we see you on the big screen or starring in the next in the next TV sitcom, whether it's by Spike Lee or whichever other director, and we see it whether it's on CBS, or ABC or Fox or BT or HBO or wherever, like, and we see Manny and they be like, yo, we just had a guy on the show. Yo, that man actually sat down with us and shot the breeze about wrestling. I'll definitely be cheering you on, man. Because like I said, I like to see people that work hard and get rewarded. So, you know, we're definitely wishing the best for you and your acting career and so on. I hope you get more parts and whatnot. But
Appreciate that.
yeah, before we shut this show down, like I said, thank you once again. Really truly appreciate it. Um, you know, And I'm gonna briefly switch topics before we actually shut this down and we have you give your social media links and whatnot. Um, so recently today the wrestling world, those of you that are watching and listening at in the comfort of your homes, we the wrestling world lost. They had a big loss today, and we lost a man who was not just a veteran, not just a legend, but an icon in professional wrestling. A man who was one of the people, because I don't like to say it was just him alone. There were several other people, but one of the people that elevated pro wrestling to mainstream status. We're talking about Hulk Hogan, and he passed away today at the age of 71. And many people grew up watching him and so on. Now I know, I'm gonna keep it real here. There are people that are like R.I.P. I don't care what he said, I don't care what he did. You know, he's a wrestler and he was part of my childhood. Yada yada yada. And then there's some people that separate the character from the actor, from the human, which I can understand too. You know, the people you see on screen are not exactly the same people you see, you know, outside of pro wrestling when the camera stopped rolling. You didn't see back in the Attitude Era DX going around outside of their working hours and crotch chopping people and telling people to suck it, random people to suck it. No, they didn't do that. You know, but it was fun to watch. And Hulk Hogan made it fun. I was never a Hulk Hogan fan, but I appreciated what he did, the matches and memories he gave us in professional wrestling. And then there are the people that say, something, forget it, forget him, Hulk Hogan, forget Terry Bollea, we don't care, da 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 da. But everybody has their right, to an opinion, as long as it's not obnoxious, and everybody has their own way to has their own way in which they respond to certain things and so on. Me personally, um, did I appreciate what he said? No, but at the same time, you can't deny the man gave us several memories, and you know it is what it is. So with that being said, we're gonna do a 10 bell salute like we always do for wrestlers that we here have passed away, because like I said, that's another childhood memory that we lost. So um I don't know, Manny, I don't know if you have anything you have to say on this. If not, then by all means I respect that. But
I mean, I already dropped the video earlier today talking about it. I Hulk Hogan, the character, is what I would love to, I guess, remember him for. I didn't grow up watching him, right? Because I wasn't even born yet. But from what I've got to watch, through old YouTube videos of like 2003, and whatever the case may be, or like NWOs, like he definitely revolutionized wrestling. Um, Terry Bollea, the person, he had his issues. Everybody has their issues, but with the name of Hulk Hogan and what he said about black people, I get it. I understand, right? So honestly, I don't really know what to say other than that, man. Rest in peace. That's all I can really say.
yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and do our brief 10 bell salute, and we're gonna close out the show after this. So here we go. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. Thank you for the matches and memories you gave us in professional wrestling. So, with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, um, Manny, I just gotta ask you, man, where can fans find you on social media when they want to, talk wrestling, check out your work in check out your videos where you interview wrestlers or just attend events and where can they find your work in TV and film?
Uh, with that, with TV and film, Netflix, I just checked. It's still there after all these years. She's Gotta Have It. Um, it's not the movie, it's the series, right?
Okay.
With any of my work, on Instagram, Manny's content underscore, I believe, or like once you type in Manny's content, I'm probably the first one that's gonna pop up. I think I'm the only one with that name. Um, Same thing with Twitter, same thing with TikTok, YouTube, Manny's content. Yeah, man. Go watch my interviews. I've interviewed a lot of people from Eric Bischoff to Deanna Perrazzo, Booker T, Zilla Fatu. You know, man. Yo, I'm everywhere. I'm here. I'm here. And try some Nigerian jollof. Word.
Will do. So y'all
Word.
definitely heard, you got his social media links. Go shoot this man a follow. Check out his content, check out his interviews, and also check out She's Gotta Have It. If you love cinema, eh, you know, especially if you love, the work of Spike Lee, you should definitely check out She's Gotta Have It, man. The man Spike Lee, he doesn't miss with his with his movies. So definitely make sure you check out She's Gotta Have It. And once again, with that being said, we're about to shut this show down. Um, if you want to follow, if, for those listening and watching, if you want to follow me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. In a couple of months, I'll be in Indonesia. So if you've never seen what Indonesia looks like, I'll be doing some vlogs while I'm over there. And if you've been to Indonesia before, well, I'm going to take you up on a trip back down memory lane. So I'll be out there, hopefully in October. And maybe before that, I'll be in Canada. So, you know, definitely, follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at the Remy Blue. Those are my links for those. I'm also on Blue Sky at remyblue.bsky.social. And I'm also on Facebook, as you guessed it, Remy Blue. That's my pager as well too. And our podcast on social media, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we sell our official Ringside Society merchandise. So we have T-shirts, we have hoodies, we have coffee mugs. We're going to be having more design. We have two or three designs right now on there. We're going to be having more, some of them that'll actually be representing your city that you're in. So be on the lookout for that. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the one we had yesterday with Minor, and the one we had the day before yesterday with Princess Leah. You can definitely find all those great interviews on YouTube, and to see them, it's really simple. It's not rocket science. It's not even pre-algebra. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. I want to see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it. That's how you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody that tuned in live tonight. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts and realist wrestling podcast that a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop being that. Um, to those of y'all that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at Gordon Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know we here at Ringside Society, myself, Kathy Knight, Rob Bates, Albert Armageddon, and Chris Cartwright, we see it. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. So with that being said, I'm going to say it one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the very talented, hardworking Manny's content. Y'all better go follow this man because he gonna do some great things, and y'all might miss, and y'all gonna look like Boo Boo the Fool because guess what? Everybody's gonna be talking about it, and you there did not follow. So go follow this man right now. So I'm gonna say it right now with a Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have four favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out.
Know what
Peace.
I mean?